Mesachta Menochos, Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph, was starting from Lamed Amud Beis, the last line.
Where it says Ella Amar Papa.
Okay, here we go. We had a problem with Rabbi Bar said that in the name of Ulan, that the name of Rabbi Chanina, that the halach is like Rab Shimon Shizuri. And we couldn't apply it to any case where he said that here the halach is like Rab Shimon Shizuri. All the other places, they never brought him down, so it couldn't have been those cases. Does you want to allow Papa? Only the case is Ashida. Ashida is a big box. It's on the case Ayayin, the case of wine. So what are we talking about? So we'll turn now on Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph. So Papa Ashida, it means a big box. So let me just tell you, to be able to be a kli that's makabel tumah is a certain size. If the kli is so heavy that you can't carry around, it's not going to be makabel tumah. What's that size? So he says it's 40 sah. Where do we know that it has to be a keli that you could carry around? Because we learned kabbalas hatumah, the kelim that is makabel tumah from a sack, and that's a hekesh. That it has to be osui litaltel. You have to be, when the sack is full, you have to be able to move it from one place to place, even when it's mala, even when it's full. A box of 40 sah, go try to pick that up. Stuff inside, good times. Let's see you do it. Okay, maybe you could. I mean, I'm talking about the guys who are not that strong. Zag the Yomara, the Tnan that we learned in the Mishnah, Hashida, this box, Beshama Yoimim Nimdedes Mibifnim. Where do you measure the 40 sah? From the inside or from the outside? So the Beishami says from the inside. The inside has to have 40 sah. It's like carrying a mikveh with 40 sah.
So it's bigger than that.
Huh?
If it's from the inside.
From the inside is 40. The outside will be obviously bigger. It means from the outside. What do you mean from the outside? That it pushes away water. When you put that box, so it's able to push away water when it's 40 sah. Okay, so mebachutz you can't pronounce it. Both agree. She'ein oivei haraglayim oivei hal vizvizin. We don't count the thickness of the wall to the 40 sah, nor do we count the hal vizvizin is like there's a rim, or you want to call it a molding that goes on the top of the box. You don't count that. And even between them, he says you do count.
How do they all get these ideas from?
I just said it's a hekesh from the pasuk where we learn out from Sak that it has to be something that you're able to carry and move around. This is physically, yeah, it's practice gerat. So over here he says you count, and here according to Rabbi Yossi you do count the thickness of the wall to add to the 40 sah. And also the rim and the feet, says the Gemara, even the feet, let's say it's standing on 4 legs, and there's a space on the bottom, he says you count the legs, and you don't count the bottom. Reb Shimon Shazuri, no, what do you mean you don't count the bottom? The empty space between the legs. Reb Shimon Shazuri says, if there was a space, the legs were, let's say, a tefach high, so it's a tefach, so that's a makim chashuv, so then it's not bottled to the... I brought down the pasuk before, that it says that kli eitz hukshu ba'teira le'inyan kabbalas hatumah lesak, u'mehakesh le'meidim, it's a hekesh that they had, to sak. I don't remember the whole pasuk. No, it's in Chumash Vayikra Perek Yud Aleph Pasuk Lamed Beis.
It's a heavy box.
But 40 sah. Let's say, but we want it to be 40 sah.
You want it to be 40 sah for what?
The formula for a big keli that it shouldn't be mekabel tumah is 40 sah. So if the legs in between, the minimum. But what's if the legs? It's only on 4 legs, but there's empty space on the bottom. Do you count the empty space? So it's less. But he says, but if it's low, Shimon Shazuri says, the other Tanaim said, no, you don't count it. It's empty. Forget it. Reb Shimon Shizuri said, hey, if it's a tefach, so it's its own space, so it's not bottled to the keli, but it's lower than a tefach, then we consider it as part of the keli and we add it to the wine. Now throw it in. That's it. It's 40 saw.
Yeah.
Okay. Rav Nachman Yitzchak says on this. So you see, Reb Shimon Shizuri said that we will count if it's lower than a tefach. Here kicks in his name. Another case. Rav Nachman Yitzchak.
He's alive.
That he's the one that said, and we follow him. That if it's less than a tefach, we add it to the 40 saw. Rav Nachman Yitzchak Amar Ayayin. It goes on wine. The Tanan that we learned. Okay, so let me just tell you, B'chlal, Ava Hatuma, if it touches something, that something becomes a Rishon L'Tumah. If the Rishon L'Tumah touches something else, that becomes a Sheni L'Tumah. I say right, that's a Shlish L'Tumah. But if the Sheni L'Tumah touched wine or touches mashkim, becomes a Rishon L'Tumah, jumps. Even though Sheni touched it, it jumps over the one that made it tamei to Rishon. Oh, so here comes the thing. So the time we learned the Mishnah, Rab Meir Shema Tchilam, Shema and Zayis that was Nitma, so that becomes a Rishon L'Tumah. Elam, whether it became tummy from an Avatuma, whether it became tummy from a Rishon L'Tumah, or for a Sheni L'Tumah. If it even if a Sheni L'Tumah touched, it still becomes a Rishon L'Tumah if it touched the Shema. Even honey, if it touched a Sheni L'Tumah touched the honey has a din like liquid, it becomes a Rishon L'Tumah. A mashke, he wants to say it's considered as liquidy. It's considered as mashke. Shimon Shizuri and even wine.
The wine becomes a rishon.
A rishon. So if you want to call it Tanakama Savi Yayin Loi, you want to say that the Meir and the Chachamim, they will argue that by wine it's not considered as a liquid, that it becomes a Rishon L'Tumah. No such a thing. Wine is for sure liquidy.
If the bash is good,
yeah, Shemin and Vash for sure. Yeah, yayin is more liquidy. It's also mixed with water. It's diluted. Those days the wine was heavy. So Ema, you're right. Ema, you have to read Shimon Shizuri Ema Yayin, not Af Yayin. He said wine, meaning he's arguing that it's only wine that has a din like a mashke. And I'd only agree with Rab Meir Shemen or the Chachamim who say the Vash, Rab Shimon Shizuri. So only wine will have a din as a mashke, not the oil or the dvash. That's the pshat. Okay, Tan, we learned in the Braisa. Omar Rabbi Shimon Shizuri. Pam achas nesarvli.
The third one already.
No, now the Gemara brings a Braisa.
No, we said before there's a bunch of Rab Shimon Shizuri.
So those two cases were the Rab Shimon Shizuri.
We had already two, no? Yeah.
Those are the two cases where Rab Shimon Shizuri, the halach is like Rab Shimon Shizuri. Rabbi, whenever it says Rabbi, I want to teach you a trick.
Yeah.
Rabbi is Tana. Rav is Amayra. There you go. That's it. It's over now. Nobody can catch you with a mistake.
So we
Tanya.
so how do you see what is it Rabbi or that?
Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon.
Rabbi is not Rabbi?
Yeah. Tanya, we learned from Rabbi Isa. Omar Rabbi Shimon Shizuri. Pam achas nesarvli tevel b'chulim. So what happened? You have to take off Maisa from tevel. Tevel means you untithed. Nicht gemeißet. That's tevel. So you have to take off Maisa from tevel. So have to take off from the tevel. You take off a tenth, and then it becomes chulin. What happened here? He took off Maisa, right? He took off Maisa from tevel, and then he went to another pile of tevel. It fell in the Maisa, and now he has to take off Maisa for that tevel. Now we got a problem. So the Maisa, you cannot take out, take off Maisa from something that was already It was Gemaisa. It became Chulin. So it doesn't become Chulin. You have to take off. You have to take off from Tevel, and this is all Chulin. It's Batal B'Rei. So what do you do?
So what's the problem?
So Shimon Shizuri had a problem.
We got a problem.
But yeah, we got. What was the name of the rocket ships? Houston. We got a problem. Okay, here we say. Now what happened? Yeah, bucket. Okay, so he says over here, what happened? The halacha is, you're right, it's batal b'rei, but they wanted to be machmir that you should have to take off ma'aser. So how do we do this? And Rav Shimon Shizuri went and he asked, "Ubasi l'shalti." a Shabbatafin. He went ahead and he asked Shabbatafin. Amalei Shabbatafin said, no problem.
Is a Tana.
Rabbi
Rabbi.
Tafin. Reish Beis Yud. You never heard? Omar
He was a friend with Rabbi Akiva, no?
Omar Rabbi Lezer, Medaf Kefin Glezer. Omar Rabbi Tafin, Medaf Sareis Vafin. Omar Abai, Medaf Kefin. Anaya, up so how it goes. Anyway, so he asked Rabbi Tafin. Now Omar Li and Rabbi Tafin said, Leich Kach Lecha, go ahead and buy Minashuk from those Amaratzim in the Shuk. And there, by Amaratzim, is a suffix if they took off Maisa. If you would buy from them, you would have to take off Maisa again. Why is that better? We'll soon see. Take off Maisa from the Mai. Because what is this? What does the Mai mean? We don't know if he took off Maisa. Why is that better?
You can say that includes everything else also.
Wait. So it says, first of all, our case was what? That the Maisa fell into Tevel. Right? So the Maisa became Tevel fell into Chulin. And it became Batal to Chulin. So now officially you don't have where to take Maisa from. So that's only, if you're taking off Maisa, it's only Midrabana, right? When you bought now from Amaretz, you wanted to use his payers to take off Maisa. That's also Midrabana. Amaretz, Masimim, most Amaratzim do take off Maisa. So he says, buy, so be in the same same level. You'll take off Maisa from Amaratzim for the tevel that got mixed up in Chulun, which is officially Batal B'Raiv, and then the same category. Meaning Potter min HaTorah. But min Rabbanan, they were guys that you should take off Maisa. So it's mamish the same category. I don't remember. This one. Huh?
What's the Shiloh if it's Batal? Why are you going to take
Because the Chachamim want you should take off Maisa, even though it's Batal to Chulun. How are you going to do it? You can't take it from that pile.
Right, okay.
So
Even Midrabanan you can.
even Midrabanan, of course not. So you have to go ahead and find a different case of Rabbanan that will help for this. So you go to the mind. Go ahead. Why did you make it so difficult to go find Amaretz and buy from him? Daman says there wasn't a problem finding Amaretz in there. But anyway, so he says, the easiest, go buy from a guy in Eretz Yisrael. A guy is nishmechuv v'maiser, and use his. It's only midrabanan. They say you should take off maiser from the crop, from the crop that grows in Eretz Yisrael. You know, he doesn't have to give maiser, but he says go buy.
It'll be the same idea.
But the yid that buys is chayiv. It's only midrabanan is chayiv. So the Gemara Kasava, he says no. He holds ein king loiv chacham Eretz Yisrael afkim miyad maiser. A guy doesn't know nothing. It's not midrabanan. The guy bought it, and now you bought it from the guy, and it's just the Yisrael. The guy doesn't know nothing. It's Yiddish Maisa. You have to minat Torah. You have to take on Maisa. V'havelei min hachiv. It's from something that you chayv daraisa alaptur on the tevel that was bought to Chulin is only midrabanan, and buying from a guy doesn't take it out of Maisa. It's still a chiv daraisa because the guy was never clean in the karka. No comparison. Others say it was the opposite. There's a leich kach b'na'ayit. Go ahead and buy from a guy. That was the advice Rabbi Tarfon gave. We said it's midaraisa. He says no. Kasava yesh kinyan ayit yecham mercisol. He says no. As a guy kaif, a guy buys land in Eretz Yisrael. It's his completely. And if a yid buys from him, he doesn't really have to give ma'aser because it's potter. It's just midrabanan. They said he should give ma'aser. Oh, that's perfect. So then it's v'havelei min aptur al aptur. He's taking ma'aser from the guy. He bought from the guy, and he has to take off ma'aser. It's only midrabanan on the table that was bought from the cholim, which is only midrabanan. So
Before it was okay to take from the
so machlekes before we said that ein kinyan lo'oivit yechavim. So if the guy is not, it's not a guy doesn't own it. It never became part of min haTorah from ma'aser. You chai min haTorah to give ma'aser. It doesn't belong to the guy. Okay, in fact, so the Gemara is. I'm doing now the second lashon. Leima lei kach mashuk. Why didn't Reb Tafin give the advice? Just go to the Amaretz and buy from him.
Well, buy anywhere. Who says if an Amoris? Buy from
No, he said buy from Amaretz, which is also Potter, because Reiv Amaretz Ma'asim, they do take off Maisa. It's only with the money you have to take off Maisa, and you would take off from that for the Maisa for the table that got bottled into the Chulim. So he says Kasava Ein Reiv Amaretz Ma'asim. It's not with the Abanan. He doesn't hold Reiv. The majority of Amaratzim did take off Maisa. So I'm not so sure. It's Midaraisa. Half, maybe, half not. So that's Midaraisa. You're Chayiv Mitzad half. So you can't take from Chiv al Aptur. Okay, that's the end of this sugya. Shalach le Rav Yema ba Shlem Shelmeya Rapapa. Rav Yema ba Shelmeya sent to Rapapa the following shaila. Had Amar Rav Machinina Amar Ula Amar Rav Chanina Halach Rav Shimon Shizuri. This is a freebie, all these lines. This is the same words we had 5 times. He said, Rav Yemas bar Shlemia sent to Papa, this that Rav Machinana said in the name of Ula, that the halacha is like Rav Shimon Shizuri, and not only here, but every place where it says Rav Shimon Shizuri, the halacha is like him. Was it also in the case where Rav Shimon Shizuri paskin that by when Tevel got bottled to Chulin, that you could take off Maisa either for according to the first Girsa from the Peiris of Amaretz?
Why are we asking? We said that the halacha is like him.
Very good, you're jumping. So Amalei in, yeah, of course it. So Amaravashi, Amali Mazuta Koshiba. I have a question, Rav Yema. What's your question? Rav Chanina Mesuda Shita. He says this Shaila that Rav Yema is, isn't it posh? We just said wherever it says Rav Shimon Shizuri, the halacha is like him. Why are you asking? Even in this case, the halacha is like him. Why not? It says his name. It's like you're asking, well, what color was George Washington's white horse? What color was it? White. Okay. So what are you saying? What are you saying it over again?
You meant the tail.
Okay. So the mother. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, the mother me come be Mishnah say no. Did we say? Meaning, did Rab Chanina say the halacha is like Reb Shimon Shizuri only by a Mishnah and not by a Braisa? And this case of the Tevel was bottled in the Chulin was a Braisa. If you look, it says Tanya. What was the wording of the Tevel point? Tanya, Amar Reb Shimon Shizuri, Pam Achas Nesarim Li Tevel. That was a Braisa. Maybe he said the halacha is like Reb Shimon Shizuri only by Mishnahs, but not by Braisas.
Maybe by Braisa only, not Mishnahs.
Because the first case where he said it was by a Mishnah. So he says maybe only by Mishnah. He says, but if you look closely, it says everywhere. Everywhere Shimon Shizuri's name is mentioned, and we learn him, the halacha is like it. Okay. Nudim. Amar Rav Zeira, Amar Rav Chananel, Amar Rav. Kera haba b'shnei shitin. Let's say there was a Sefer Torah. I don't have a picture here. That's the problem. Okay, I'm going to show you as if this is the Sefer Torah, and the Sefer Torah got cut from the one shura over here and down to the second shura. Tzirisin, but not on the ois itself. Between the oasis, in the space, but two lines. It came down 2 lines. Says the Gemara, if it came down 2 lines, yitper, then you sew it together, no problem. Bishalish, if it went down now 3 lines, 1, 2, 3. So if there's 3 lines, then al yisper, then you cannot sew it together.
What do you do? You take out the whole sheet.
Huh? He says that you have to get rid of that whole yediyah and exchange it, okay? Unless there's 4 columns and the rip is by the 3rd column, just cut out the 4th column. You have 3 columns, and you shouldn't have to write over 3 columns.
What's the reason 3 line 2 was really?
Oh, because it's a bezoyin. Only because it's nicker. He's going to say, what is it? It's an old cloth. If the cloth gets old, after they put on the galnuts. Because 3 zetzachon mer, is nikar. That's what he says. Mishum sha'akera nikar yoisa. That's what he brings down for Rashi.
I guess
Yeah. So Amma le Rabba Zuti le Avashi. Hachi Amma Rav Yirmiyah medifta mishmei Rava. So said Rav Yirmiyah from Difta in the name of Rava. Hodam Rinan. This that we said that the rib was b'shalish. Al Yisrael, you shouldn't sew together. Lo Yamaran Elaba Tikosa. Only if it's old. And he doesn't literally mean old. We'll soon see what it means. Avol chatzasa, but if it's new, then even if it ripped three lines, it could sew it together. Today you see a lot of times they put a patch in the back and they sew it to a patch. Avol chatzasa, a new one, less lamba. We're not so medactic, and we do so. And says Gemara, v'loya atikosa mamish. When we said old, it doesn't mean old. And when it says no, it doesn't mamish mean no. Ella ha, he means the loya fitzam, that they didn't put the galnut they used to smear on the Sefer Torah galnut. It's an ingredient that holds it stronger. I'm assuming,
Makeup, like makeup.
but it gets yellow. It looks old after. Galnut is a bein. I think this is what it is, if I remember right. A bee would give honey in the tree, and the tree has like and they use that. They break it, and they use that liquid to smear.
to keep it better.
I think it's to keep it better, and it changes the color, and it looks old. So deer on deer, you see the rip. If it's more than 2, it's 3. It's a visible rip, but if it wasn't done yet, the galnut it's still white, so you don't see it as much. Okay, so Elaha the loyafitzam, the new ones is talking about they didn't smear the galnut, and ha the afitzam here they did smear the galnut. So the Gemara, what does it mean that he sews it together with what kind of with what kind of thread? Hanimili begidin, only with sinews. Wait, let somebody. Okay, Hanimili just begidin with sinews. Avo bigiradin, but if it was bigiradin means with regular thread, loy, then you cannot sew together. But you have Yehuda with Ababa. Sinews is much stronger. That's halach l'meish mesinai b'chlal. That you should only do it with begidin. That's what it says.
Begidin is what kind of material?
Is sinews from animal. Yeah, sure. Grudden is just thread. Thread, just thread. I think he brought down before. I saw it in the morning. It's halach l'meish mesinai. Shekain halach l'meish mesinai she'ein teifim yiriyasa shal sefer Torah zu lezu ela begidin. It's halach l'meish mesinai. Okay, ask me.
What is
Grodin is the from after the ariga, after the weaving, there's leftover thread. Those threads you're not allowed to use to sew. That's what Rashi says. Okay, but Rav Yehuda bar Ababa. Rav Yehuda bar Ababa had said, if the yediyah of the Sefer Torah was torn, but not b'makam aksav, let's say over here in the margin, you see between one column and another, you had a margin, right? So there was a rip here, a little rip. So he says, okay, what's if there was a rip there? Bein daf, what happened?
No, must be not cutting off any words, just in the lane.
Right, just there, just in the margin, there was a little rip. So he says, or bein shita l'shita. So we said the space between one row and another row. You listening, Mori?
Yeah, of course.
Between the top row and the next row and the next row, there has to be a space of a row. A line. Yeah, between each line, you have to have a space
the size of a
the
line.
size of a line. So let's say a rip was between the 2 lines. Okay, that's all. Says
In the line between the lines.
in the line between the lines. Read between the lines. Bein shita l'shita, between the 2 lines. What's going to be the din? Says Gemara Teiko. Okay. Azag the Gemara Amar Rav Zeiri, Amar Rav Chananel, Amar Rav. Rav Zeiri said in the name of Rav Chananel, in the name of Rav. Huh?
Became popular.
Who? Zeiri. Yeah. Mezuzah shekisava shtayim. let's say he has a mezuzah, he writes, the top line is Shema Yisrael. The second line, Hashem Elokeinu. Third line, Hashem Echad. He makes only 2 words per line. And he goes down on the mezuzah. So, Shtayim. So, Gemara Shed, it's kosher. The Gemara is the kasha. How about Shtayim v'Sholish v'Achas? He starts off 2, then he does 3, and then he goes 1. Okay?
It makes a puzzle.
So he has the first row, the top row 2, the second row 3, and the last one 1. What's it in?
Sound like the Avodah in,
So it's very similar to the way the Shira was written. If you look in the picture, they show you that you had here is not it here 1, 2, 3, and then we have 2, and then 1, but it's not. It's almost similar to the way the Shira was written. So
Shira mean what? Az Yashir?
Shira Az Yashir. If you look in the Sefer Torah, it's not written this way the other Amudim are written. So Amar Rav Nachman said, Kol Shekin, for sure it should be kosher. She'asag Shera, because he did it like the Shira. I'm sorry, not Shira, Kishira. She'asag Kishira means he did it like the Az Yashir that's written in the Sefer Torah. He wrote in the same format. And we know that Shira, that's how it's written in the Torah, it's good. Mesa, in fact, really? I saw Kishira, if he did the daf, that's the meaning, the column, that's supposed to be written normally, and he wrote it like the Shira, or Shira Kemoisa, or he wrote the Shira like the way the normal column is written, Psula. So what are you telling me? What are you telling me this? So the Gemara, so Zakasha, how could you say written Kishira is good? Faket. If you write where it's supposed to be written normally, you write like the Shira, the Torah, by a Sefer Torah, it's possible. Says Gemara Kitanya, where do we learn that it's going to be possible? Only by Sefer Torah, only by a Sefer Torah. But by mezuzah, it's going to be kosher. Says the Gemara Itmanami. We also similarly had learned Amar Rabba Babachana, Amar Rab Yechnan, Ramila, Amar Rab Acha Babachana, Amar Rab Yechnan, Mezuzah Shasa Shtayim. First he wrote 2 on the top line, the Shalish, and then 3 on the second line. V'achas and 1 on the bottom line, Sheda. Ubevat Shelo Yasena Kikuba, provided that he doesn't make it like a triangle. That's his Kikuba. You have it in the Gemara. You don't start off with 1, 2, 3, 4. Like a mountain or a pyramid, right? Or shalayasa kizanav, or don't make it look like a tail. You're not allowed to start off wide and come down small. He says in those cases, then it would be puzzle. Bechal by mezuzah, we were talking about yesterday that there was a neighborhood that was it was full of robberies, and only the goyim were being robbed. So they came over to the guy came over to the Jew. He says, "Why are the robberies only happening by us and not by you guys?" He says, "Because we have mezuzah." He says, "You got me one? No problem." They brought him a mezuzah. He put it up. Comes back a month and says, "Please take it back." He says, "What happened?" He says, "Forget about the robberies. I'm losing more money. People keep on coming to my door. Hey, take it back." But Omar Rav Chizda. Rav Chizda said that the 2 last words of mezuzah is al ha'aretz. If you look on the mezuzah, they have the pasha shema, and uvishirach is the middle of the line. They start v'hayim shemaya, and when it comes to the end of v'hayim shemaya, the last 2 words, the last line is al ha'aretz. Yeah, if you look in the mezuzah, you'll see. I wish I had a picture.
Al Haaretz, it doesn't have a yemer?
No. So al ha'aretz is the last 2 words on the and it's all on one line, the last line. So says the Gemara, others say, you know where you put the word al haaretz? At the beginning of the last line. Others say no. No, that's how we do it. At the beginning of the last line. Others put al haaretz right beneath Kimei HaShemayim, that the haaretz should be right on the bottom of the word Shemayim, at the end of the line. Haaretz should be at the end of the line. So it should be right on the what? No. It's you have the last line. You could either put it at the beginning of the line. That's it, al haaretz, or you can put it out. Yeah, there's a space till the end, And what was the last word of the line before it? Shemayim. So ha'aretz should be right beneath the word Shemayim. Says the Gemara, Ikanamni b'seif hashita, Ikanamni b'tchis hashita. Says the Gemara, Man the Oma b'seif hashita, the one that says it should be at the end of the line. He says, Kigvaya Shamayim al haaretz, that you want your life should be so long, like the height it is, like the distance of the height from the Eretz to the Shemayim. Man the Oma b'tchilas hashita, but according to the one that says, you're right, al haaretz at the beginning of the line, Kehechi the Menochos Shamayim haaretz. It's a hint. The same distance that it is from Shemayim to Haaretz, that's how long the life should be. Here Rashi brings down, no, it's Kichirvaya Shamayim ala Haaretz. He says, it says in Tehillim, on Pasuk Yudal, few days over there, Ki Kichirvaya Shamayim ala Haaretz Gava Chazdoi al Yedeyom. B'lashon Chesed. That it's coming to be menamis on the kindness that Hashem should do for us in our lifetime. We say that every ois you have the tzaddik. What's the meaning of tzaddik? Tzaddik. Why is the tzaddik with such a form? Because the tzaddik is selfless. No, he's selfless. He carries. You see the yud on the top of the tzaddik goes this way, and then you have a yud that's attached. He carries a yid on top of him, and that's why. So that's why he's a tzaddik. In fact, in Shaila, Aleph is also carrying a yud on top of it, so he should be a tzaddik also. Was Maslu the tzaddik? The Aleph is carrying a yud also. Yeah, but it's sitting on it. No, because the Aleph represents the way you're being good to one yid on the top is by stepping on another yid on the bottom. That you don't do. Okay. Zag Gemara, Man the Omar. They say, oh, he just said that. Omar Rav Cholbei, I didn't learn this, but we'll do this anyway. We have a little bit of time. Omar Rav Cholbei, Chazina Leila Rav Huna. I have seen Rav Huna, the Korich law, that he would roll up the mezuzah, right? But from which direction? From which direction? Min Echot. He would start from the end of the pasuk and roll up till Klapi Shma, till Shma. You don't roll up from the Shema side. You roll up from the Echad.
The menorah. You go from higher, lower, lower. No.
I don't know. It doesn't say. Maybe I don't know.
Shema is holy.
I'm just learning it now. I didn't look up reasons for it. He doesn't say over here. One second. I have to see. I'm going to look. The Oise Pashir Seha Stumeis, that they would write the last word of the Pasha Rishena at the beginning of the again, they would write the last word of the Pasha Yeshena at the beginning of the next line, and they would start V'hayim Shemaya at the end of that same line. That's called Pasha Stuma. There's maybe 9 letters in between, but it's in the same line. The end of the first Pasha and the beginning of the second Pasha on the same line, but there's a gap of space in between.
That's what it is.
I don't know. I'm stopping over here.
You didn't look at it as